parameters with the Facebook Live and the medical disclaimers, so I appreciate your patience with that. But good morning. This is a beautiful Sunday morning, and we're so excited for what we have to share with you today. Happy Easter to those who celebrate, and happy any other holiday that you have been engaged with over this last month. Cornelia, would you like to give the announcements?
Yeah, we do have actually only a few. We will have in 3 weeks on the 21st of April, we will actually, during the call, during the Sunday call, we will have the book launch of the pet book that Carol Ray has kind of put together with some of the people here, even in our community. And so we're really looking forward to do that. We had to postpone it, as most of you are aware of. And so it's happening now on the 21st of April. Besides that, we will also, if you read the newsletter, you know that Dr. Clint is going to Europe. So we have a few dates in Belgium, in Spain, Switzerland, and maybe some other countries following, where he's going to do book launches as well as pulse clinics. And the links where you can book all those and even book your time for reserve your spot for the book launches, I will post them here in a second in the chat, so you can do it from here, or you have to go back to the newsletter where they are all listed. And then the next announcement that we also have is that we are going to start a 7-day and a 30-day detox beginning of May. It's like the last couple of days in April, and then going into May. That's when we start again, and they will coincide with what we are going to do in the 100-day course, because part of that is also home detox and panchakarma. So we will synchronize that they go hand in hand. So these are the announcements for today.
Wonderful. Cornelia's got to jump off the call because she has company, but let's rub our hands together and just send her a blast of love for all of that she's been doing for the 100 days, all the things that she does for translation. Cornelia, thank you so much for being such a key part of this community.
Thank you. Yeah, it's actually really exciting also to speak for the Italian group, that we have actually for the first time the 100 days in Italian, and it's really going well. And so it's really fun to be part of both, even though I don't speak Italian, but just to see the energy in a different language when they talk about the ancient secrets, it's just fun. Dr. Giovanni is on all the calls, so it's really a very great experience.
Oh, so wonderful. That's so wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, we hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.
I definitely will. We have a beautiful day here in the Bahamas, and so we will go out now.
Wonderful. Susan and Joseph, would you have just a moment to talk about Ashland?
Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
You want to go?
Well, this June, Tuesday the 4th, we are having another gathering of the community in Ashland, Oregon. There is a place called the Jackson Wellspring, which is the venue site. And the gathering actually will start Monday evening on the 3rd of June, and that will be just a casual gathering at a lovely Mexican restaurant that is very nearby, and that is for anybody who would like to come. Then on Tuesday, the event will begin, and this year we're very excited. We have a wonderful chef and cook, a restaurateur, who is going to make lunch and dinner Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and those will be available if you would like to participate in that. It was going to be an Indian cuisine, and there are going to be pulse clinics with Dr. Giovanni.
Yeah.
Speaking of Italian.
Yeah.
And those will be scattered throughout, I believe, probably starting on Monday and going Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday during the midday when we have breaks. The venue, Jackson Wellsprings, is a hot springs healing mineral spa. And we plan to offer something on Wednesday, midday during the break, where we have a ceremonial process that will lead everyone through in the water, if you want to partake in the waters, as they say. And that will be a kind of a letting go
And,
ritual.
but the waters, the waters will be there the whole time. And so you're welcome. We have a, anyway, you'd be welcome to use the waters as you please.
Right.
So that'll be
So
great.
that's something that's open to the public every day. And but this one time on Wednesday afternoon, we have it reserved exclusively for the participants of the Ancient Secrets gathering Wednesday afternoon.
And so the theme of this time, I think most of you know, but the theme of this gathering is let love guide you. So let love guide you to Ashland. Let love guide you to share your beautiful energies with all of us, because together we make it happen, just like we did in Sedona. No doubt that we will do that again and then send that out to the world together. So
There's nothing like being in person with each other. There's just nothing like it. So
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, everybody goes from being a face in a square this big to being like a real person.
I didn't know
That's
you had a body. And I'm just noticing Hope on the call, who's in India right now. Wow, 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 doing amazing things. So I just wanted to give a shout out to her.
I'm glad that you did, because I saw her come in and I was hoping that she might say a few things about what's happening there in Nepal.
Yeah, I
Well-
think we're done. Are we
Well,
done?
well, I was just going to
Oh,
throw in
gotcha.
a couple of things logistically. The nearest airport is Medford, Oregon. The other thing about accommodations is that Jackson Wellsprings itself has everything from RV hookups to camping and some kind of rustic yurts kind of things that are available for people. And then right adjacent, I don't know what their room situation is now, but there's Lithia Springs Resort is just on the adjacent property. And they had been holding rooms for us at a discounted rate, and they will continue to honor the discounted rate as long as those rooms last, but they're not holding anymore for us. And they also have a sister hotel in town where they will honor those rates. So that is the intention around Ashland, and we're just excited for all of the right people who will be there, and you should be one of those right people.
Well, great. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for so much. Thank you for all the time that you are offering in planning and getting this ready, and also the committee that's behind you. And just thank you for taking the time this morning to share. Wonderful. Thank you. Hope, are you in a position where you can chat for a second?
I can just quickly. I have to thank Joan, because we were just making our way up in the dark a very steep hill, having seen the Mountain Home children this evening, had an unbelievable time. I'll tell you about it quickly in a second, but Joan said, "Oh, you're going to be on the call?" I was like, "What call? Okay, what day is it? I don't even know." She said, "Oh, it's at 9:45. I was like, "I think I can." Then I got to my room. We had a massive storm. And when I say storm, I mean the kind you want to just, get under a bushel. Hail, wind, lightning, thunder, and it went on and on and on. And we were thankfully, we'd gotten down to the mountain home already. So we weren't en route, which would have been harder. But as a result of that, we went inside to their bedrooms where they have all their bunk beds, and somebody put on dance music. We had these glow in the dark bracelets and things, and everybody was just dancing and dancing. It was so much fun. Do you still have them on, Joan? Do you still have your bracelets? There they are. Oh my gosh. So
Don't unmute and say something so we can see you.
Hello. Yeah,
Let's see those bracelets. There they are.
So decked out. They were so, it was amazing. They just kept saying, okay, more. So we'd put more rings on them. They were from head to toe, and basically their bedrooms got turned into a disco. So
yeah. Yeah.
Super fun.
I don't think they'll ever forget it. I know we won't ever forget it. And this is after a day of hiking up a significant hill with them, and then having a holly celebration where we all are clean, relatively clean now. But if you'd seen us 6 hours ago, you wouldn't have recognized us, because we were completely covered in every color under the sun. But it's been wonderful. I just want to mention that I came a week early, and I went around, and I've been talking to the different 18-plus-year-olds, because I know there are a bunch of people here who are concerned with that project, and you've been so wonderful about raising money through your beautiful artistic efforts and all. So I just wanted to come on and say, I'm going to report back in more detail, but just briefly, meeting a lot of new 18-plus-year-olds that I had not met last year. I'm so impressed by them. And every time we say, well, if we could get an internship for you, would you be interested? They're, yes, I'm interested. Yes. And they're so ready to go. We're still putting our program in place, but right now the idea is to perhaps have them housed in hostels around the city and have them interact. We're having a big get together on the 2nd, which is Tuesday, I think. And all the 18-plus-year-olds from all 9 orphanages are going to come together, and we're going to have a great big summit. And we're going to talk about the ideas and get a sense of their readiness. But I mean, it's been invaluable this time. And every time now I'm here from a second time, and I'm already thinking, when am I coming back? I think I need to come for longer. So it really gets under your skin. It really, really does. It's quite a place. So if you ever have a chance to go on one of these trips with Dr. Clint, with our dear Clint, I highly recommend it. It will change your life.
Awesome.
So that's where I could sign off now, unless anybody has a question.
Thank you. I was just wondering if Joan had anything else that she would like to add, since she's immersed in this as well.
Just to let you know what holy looks like after, there's a picture of Clint and myself.
Oh, so fun.
We were more covered than that at the end of it, but that was really fun. And we had so many people that were having so much fun. And the other thing that I just wanted to mention was that Clint gave us this little challenge. He took pictures of the kids when they were little, when they were in the home, and they were coming back tonight as like a family reunion, like homecoming. And so he says, okay, you got to find that person as a little kid. You got to find them now as an adult. So some people's partners were there, but some people's partners weren't there. And I just happened to catch one that he wasn't going to be there, and they knew that he couldn't show up. So he says, well, find out where he's at, find out what's going on. So I thought, oh boy. So I went to the actual parents. They didn't know. And then I happened on one guy, and he's like, yeah, I just talked to him this morning, and he was on Facebook, and he said, I want to come and I'll come and get you. He says, I can't go. And so I got the story from him, and he said that his parents had died, I guess he had parents, but he was in the orphanage anyways. And so they died recently and he had to take over their farm. So he has a house and a farm to look after. And that's why he couldn't go. Because the guy was like, I'm going to help get you here by transport or whatever. And he says, no, I can't. I have too much responsibility. So I thought that was kind of good that he was, being able to at least have something that it was his that he could do something with, like a little mini farm. So that was kind of fun. And it was a really nice, I mean, I think everybody's going to talk about that party, and next year all the graduates are going to want to come back. They're not going to want to miss that for sure.
Oh, so fun. It just, you two are doing such great work. The everybody's doing such great work, from people who are donating, from people who are doing the benefit, the benefit for the fundraising, the artistic, abilities. I mean, you guys it's just amazing how the community is coming together. And thank you so much for sharing this with us. It just seems like we're getting to know them better and better with each time that we go over. So that's wonderful. Oh, thank you. Well, wonderful. Seeing the pictures of Holy just makes me want to do the Marma Happy for No Reason. So do you guys know that Marma Happy for No Reason? So we cup our hands and we just clap 6 times, happy for no reason. Happy for no reason. We'll just do it twice and then very good. Oh my gosh.
Jayna, after we clap, we squeeze like that.
Squeeze. Thank you. So will you lead us one more time, Luke?
Sure. Happy for no reason. So we're gonna clap 6 times and then we're gonna squeeze 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now squeeze 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful.
Thank you. I think you're a master at Marmas. Marma master.
Well, I'm in a group of Marma Masters. We meet every Monday, and we've all become Marma Masters. We practice constantly.
That's wonderful. Love it. Well, I'm so excited. We're going to be talking to Amber Wolf about the season changes, and she's got a lovely message to be able to share with us. And in the process of being able to do that, I would like all of us to put in the chat, what is your favorite thing or event, or what is your favorite thing of this time of the year? I know today is a special day for many people. It's Easter. It's been Holy has been celebrated. There's been so many wonderful the spring equinox, the full moon. I mean, there's so many things to celebrate, but what is your favorite thing? Carol puts spring flowers, spring, the beautiful beginning, new day, new beginning, new day. So wonderful. Just keep putting those in the chat. And I am so excited. Many of you guys know Dr. Amber and Dr. Amber Wolf. She is an international speaker, an international teacher. She is an author. She has her own community. She does recordings. She does channeling, and she was with Kryon. She traveled with Kryon for about 10 years, and she has her. I'm so sorry, Amber. It's the Pleiadian Star Mothers is the name of it. So she's a wonderful asset to our community. We're so lucky to have her when she's here. And so, Amber, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you.
Thank you so much. And thank you all. I'm so excited to be here on this Resurrection Day. Isn't that lovely that we can climb on that wave together? And I'm so excited. I'm probably going to talk really fast because this is, I have to just say the whole community at Dr. Clint, Dr. Giovanni, all of you, I'm going to tell you why you have been lifesavers, literally lifesavers to me. When I first saw Dr. Clint on Kryon's Healing Wednesday, I ordered the book, and then I ordered the book, and I ordered the book because I kept giving them away. And when I finally got to meet Clint, we just, we just connected, and it was great. And in the 80s, I lived in an ashram, so I was not a the whole Hindu diet and the meditation and karma and Akashic records and all that was not unfamiliar to me, but it had kind of gone out of my life. And then it came back with Ancient Secrets. And at that point in time, I'd had a head injury. I'd gotten this terrible fungus that lives in Southern California and Arizona, Nevada, Utah, the South here, called valley fever. And I was a mess. I was on blood pressure medication, which I don't take medication, but I had to take that. But once I started with the diet, I like to think I restarted, and I call it ashram food. But now, instead of calling it that, it's called moonbeam soup. Did you know that someone mistakenly thought it was mung bean soup was actually moonbeam soup? So now that's what we call it, moonbeam soup. But with changing my diet, and that was about 6 months into the diet that I started really focusing on the marmas. And I was visiting my son back east for Christmas, and my blood pressure went up really high, and I had to go to the ER. And Mindy, our dear Mindy, who was from North Carolina where I was, told that to Clinton. He made me a little video, like a 3-minute video of the marmas, and God bless him for that, because I did that. And more than anything, I felt like I had control, that there was something that I could do to shift the energy. And that is so powerful when you're not giving your energy, your power to a medical community that doesn't know what to do with you except give you another drug, or just doesn't know, and that we have that power in our hands. We can do that. I'm also an acupuncturist, Chinese medicine practitioner, so I know all about meridians and I know what they signify, but no one has ever put the marmas together for me for specifics like that. And so literally it was a lifesaver. And in a couple of weeks, I was able to go off blood pressure medication, never went back. And just recently, I have had 2 different medical appointments. One was for a CT scan with contrast, which is a terribly traumatic event, and another heart scan. And just because I did it, just because they kept offering it to me. Do they? I don't know what your ages are. I'm happy that they're very wide here, but I really get tired of hearing, well, at your age, well, at your age, well, at your age. So I did those tests. And then I went for blood work it's been about 3 weeks ago now. Because at my age, I actually like getting blood work because I like to investigate what's gone on. And it's relative, for me, it's easy. It's an easy thing to do. And so the cardiac guy said that my test was so good. All of, I had no plaque, all my valves are this and all of that. He said, we used to say 4 years of extended longevity with a heart like yours. He didn't say at your age. I'm about to be 75, so that just to say that. He said, now we are saying 15 years with a heart like yours. And Yeah, what do you say to that? Except my brain went, that's 90, Amber. That's 90 years. Okay. And I did a little happy dance for the rest of the day, and I love telling this story, especially because I wasn't just coming from, a normal day. I was coming from a couple of years of blood pressure medication, and blood pressure that just would go up and not come back down, and then that. So even in all of that, my beautiful heart is so happy. And then the blood work. They called me and said, the doctor would like to discuss medication with you. And I said, I'm not taking medication. And I went in for my appointment to talk to her, and she hadn't even looked at the heart scans. She just looked at my cholesterol, which had gone up 5 points. She didn't even look to see that prior to that, it had dropped, since I've been on the diet, 30 points in less than a year.
Wow.
No drugs. So, okay, it went up 5 points. And I know why. I went through something particularly stressful in January. And I had the blood test in the middle of March, just a couple of weeks ago. So she looked through everything and got really quiet, and then looked at me and said, Mrs. Wolf, which no one ever calls me, here's what I'd like you to do. And I was sort of braced. I would like you to stop thinking of yourself as a 74-year-old woman and start thinking of yourself as a 40-year-old woman. And I mean, honestly, who says that? What American medical doctor ever says that to anybody? And it's not that I take it with a grain of salt. I consider the source, but I also, it was a holy moment. And I did another happy dance when I got out to my car. And I really celebrate that I have had the great good fortune to have these things come into my life and take responsibility for my health, which, as many of you know, you have people in your own families that don't. And that's how we're trained, to give our responsibility to the medical association, and they parcel it out into the different places they don't know about. But the simple things like love, letting love guide you, like the diet, like marmas, like service. Who teaches that? Nobody teaches that except this community. And
Amber,
so,
can I just break in for a minute?
Yeah, yeah.
Because what you are talking about is amazing. to think yourself as a 40-year-old woman, 40-year young woman, and
Yeah.
here you are at 75 years young, and to be able to have such great benefit with the blood pressure, regimen that he gave to you on that video. It's wonderful. So can we just rub our hands together and just send Amber a blast of love? Oh my gosh.
Receiving. I'm receiving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, it's amazing in the chat. They've got, wow, wonderful. It's so wonderful. It really is to be able to have that kind of success, in that situation.
When I was with Clint in last June in Sedona, and I went on the stage to tell that story, I hadn't seen these other two doctors yet. I was only able to talk about the marmas and the blood pressure. So he doesn't know that part of the story. So I'm excited to, whenever it is, I get to see him to that, because
Wonderful.
it just keeps getting better.
That it does. Wonderful.
And I have a school called the Shamanic Teaching Wheel, which is information that has come through my ancient Lemurian Akash. But one of the reasons that I've always been, I was traveling with Lee Carroll, was because he's a channeler, and he hasn't really, he's taught things that you feel and things that you think about, but not really anything that you can do for yourself. And that's why he brought me on the road with him for 10 years, was because I was that person. I was that person teaching. You know, I was teaching people about heart coherence, and I was teaching people about Qigong and pressure points on your body. It was before Marmas came into my life. And so now with the Shamanic Teaching Wheel School, I have taught the women, the Marma, what do you want? What do you want? Because so few women get asked that question, especially my generation and the generation below me. I think those being raised by women my age will get asked that question, but it's so powerful to have someone ask you that question, because we always know, we just don't speak it.
Yeah,
And don't have support to manifest it.
it's so true, you know, because, you know, in the book, Dr. Naram talks about that, you know, 90% of the people don't know what they want. And, you know, I really love that you are an empowerer and an inspirer of women,
Thank you.
because I think that a lot of times we have given up, like you said, we've given up our power to be able to serve others. And now you come to a place where you realize, you know, I have the power inside of me, and I get to choose whatever I want to do, you know, whatever my life purpose is. And I love that you are an inspirer of that, Amber. Yes.
Thank you. I was just thinking, I taught yoga again after not teaching it for 20 years here in my little community for a year. And I was teaching the Marmas to the women in yoga class too, because they are the same. You know, it's Arizona, so there's a lot of older people that live here. And, you know, they're at a point in their life where they're just kind of going along. They're not working anymore. They may or may not have families or partners, and they don't know what they want. And so it was really empowering for them to just be asked the question. So, yeah. Yeah. And spring. So my birthday is in May. So as soon as the days start to get longer, I'm so happy. If it could be spring all year, I would be happy. And for me, since I'm doing 8 ceremonies this year about the points of balance and equinox and solstice and midpoints between equinox and solstice, I've been very directed at what all these transitions mean to us and how we've kind of just glossed over it in our new paradigm of living. We don't live outdoors very much, so we don't see the sky changing, and, you know, we often don't see the moon, and unless you have a really nice view of sunset or sunrise, which many of us don't, we don't have that. So for me, doing these events, I just did the spring equinox one, and that equal day, equal night thing is really, it's really incredible when you think about how long ago that started. I mean, if you've ever been to a place like Stonehenge or anywhere where there's standing stones, where they got it. They got the exact moment the sun was going to come through or the moon was going to come through. But even before that, we celebrated those things because it was important to acknowledge the different things that Gaia, that the earth was doing, because we're that. We are little cosmoses of our own. And if we pay attention to the shifts that are happening around us, we can do that for us as well. So I love that you're doing the detox. It's right. Yeah, right on time for that, because spring is the time for that. And, you know, for people that live in this country in the northeast, it's maple syrup time, you know, when the sap starts rising. And they usually, I'm from Connecticut, so I have been exposed to this a lot, usually throw away the first stuff because it's kind of the toxin that's been sitting all winter. And that's what we do when we start to have our own sap rise. And if we do a detox or some kind of, you know, taking care of that, we're giving ourselves an opportunity to really have a smoother transition into the hot time of year in the Northern Hemisphere. So one of the ways that I do that, and this isn't necessary for only this time of years, and it's something I'd like to give to you right now, is a little exercise called balanced breathing. And it only takes 2 minutes. And you can do it in bed. You can do it lying down if you want. And at night, if my brain doesn't want to quiet down, I do this exercise. And I don't know how long I've done it, but all I know is that I've woken up the next morning, not remembering when I fell asleep. So it will regulate your blood pressure and your heart rate. It will balance the acid alkaline in your body. It will also balance the left and right hemispheres of your brain. So that's pretty cool, and it only takes 2 minutes. And so there is actually a video of me teaching this on my Lemurian Sisterhood Global, it's called, YouTube channel. So you don't have to write anything down. You can go there and do it. It's also on my website, Amber Wolf, Ph.D., under articles. So you can have those 2 places to reference it. So there is a visualization that goes with these 2 minutes. There is a body position that we're going to do. We're going to cross the hemispheres, the electromagnetic field of our body, with our arms and legs in a specific way. And then there's a breath. So I want to teach you the breath first because it's a little unique. You're going to inhale through your nose with your tongue on your palate. So your mouth will be a little open when you do that. And the reason that we touch the palate is it is the connection point of the 2 channels that run on either side of our spine, up through our perineum, up the front of our body, and then back up through the palate, over the top of the head, and down the spine. It's the main central vertical channel in Chinese medicine. It's the Sushumna and the Pingala in Hindu medicine. So that whole circuit gets connected every time you inhale. Pretty cool, huh? Just in a breath. And then the exhale, you release your tongue, and there's not anything forced about this. You're just going to be really soft with it. So inhaling like this, exhaling, and you make a little sound when you're exhaling, and you really use your belly muscle to get that breath out. So that's just 2 minutes. So now the visualization, very simple, a symbol of balance. So that can be like a teeter-totter or a scale or yin-yang. My personal favorite is I like to see where the ocean and the sky meet out on the horizon. That just does it for me. And if you think you have one and it doesn't stay with you and you start thinking, you can have another one. Just whatever comes in. No pressure here. This is just a beautiful thing for you. So the body position, let's do that now. You're going to cross your left ankle over your right. And when you're doing this on your own, you can cross either over either. The idea, though, is that you want to do the opposite with your hands. So to really get crossed up, we're going to reach them out in front of us, palms facing each other. And then we're going to cross the the right over the left at the wrist. So the back of our hands are facing each other. So now we've got the left ankle over the right, and then the right wrist over the left, and then turn the palms to face each other, and then interlace your fingers. And once that's done, you're going to turn them down towards your belly button and then back up towards your heart. And you leave them right here for the 2 minutes. Now, if there's any problems with your shoulders or wrists or hands, you can just do this. You'll be right over left. It's because your ankles are left over right. Okay? Let's start. So begin by closing your eyes. There's nothing to see because I'm going to talk you through it. And I promise I have a really big clock and I will keep good track. And focus on a symbol of balance, just breathing naturally for a moment here. And bring that symbol of balance in and let your body relax and soften. And now we're going to begin by placing the tongue on the palate gently and inhaling through the nose. And then exhale through the mouth. Tongue is soft. Tongue on the palate. Inhale. And exhale. Tongue on the palate. Inhale. And exhale. And now I'm going to stop talking and you do it at your own pace and I'll keep track of time. Tongue on the palate. That's 1 minute. Keep coming back to your symbol of balance. And keeping your eyes closed, just relax your hands into your lap. Begin breathing in your natural rhythm. Uncross your ankles. And just notice the difference in the way that you are feeling since we started and finished this lovely little exercise. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes and feel a smile bubbling up from your heart into your face and your mouth and your eyes. We say, yeah, thank you.
Amber, that was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm feeling really, really light and recentered. It really is an amazing process. Yeah.
And you can't do it too many times you can always find, I used to say, if you're, in a crazy office situation, you can go to the bathroom for 2 minutes and no one will question you. You can recenter yourself or whenever it is. So yeah, on my website and on my Lemurian Sisterhood Global YouTube channel.
I went ahead and posted the link in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you. This has been just lovely playing with all of you and spending this time. And it's just such a beautiful community here.
Whoops, we're getting some great comments in the chat. Yes, wonderful, Amber. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It looks like Shifra didn't quite get the hand motions. She asked if you could explain it again.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. So what we want to do is crisscross the magnetic field of the body. So we're putting the left ankle over the right and then the right hand over the left. Now, if you want to get the intricate way of doing that, We're going to do the opposite hands and feet. So stretching the arms out in front. Is there a better way? Maybe if I turn a little bit. And then since I crossed the left ankle over, I'm crossing the right hand over and turning the palms, interlace the fingers, and then down towards the belly and up to the heart.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Karen was asking, is it appropriate to do it for longer than 2 minutes?
You know, it's really interesting. People do ask that question. I would say that it's not necessary, but if you feel drawn to do it, it's okay. We have kind of a thing in our country that more is better. And why not, but I would say that it is, in my experience, it's more beneficial to do it twice a day for 2 minutes than once a day for 4.
Good information. Also, Esther Francis was wondering if you could explain the palate. Tell us a little bit about the palate.
So our mouth is a connection point, our palate. And if you look at a baby when they're sleeping, if you just gently open their mouth, their tongue will be on their palate because they're breathing through their nose and they're still connected to that beautiful vibration of their egg, their eggness that goes from the palate up through the top of the head and down the back of the spine, along both sides of the spinal column, into the perineum, then up the front on either side of your navel, your belly button, all the way up to the root of the tongue. So when you touch the tip of the tongue, you're connecting that main central vertical channel so that you're letting both sides have sort of an equal say in what's going on with you. Because a lot of times we go right side, right brain, a lot of times we go left side, left brain, or we go into scatter mode or fear mode. And that just brings everything back to the center.
That's so perfect.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Does anybody have anything else they would like to share with Amber, or any other questions that they have for Amber?
Answer any questions? There's a question.
Great. Just go ahead and unmute.
Esther.
Yes, yes. Oh, I'm just so loving your presentation, your energy. And my question specifically on the palate is from close to the teeth to where you can actually put your tongue, really, really far back. Is there because in a lot of yogic things, it can also be further back. I usually just put it very gently about just a little, not too far above, the teeth. And I'm wondering if there's an optimum place or where you just go where your tongue goes naturally.
So the idea is that we don't want to force anything.
Good.
And so if it is a little more forward, that's fine. If it's a little more back, it's fine. I say straight up because that works for me. And I am familiar with ujjayi breathing, where you put your tongue way back on your palate. So straight up, if that's comfortable. If it's not, a little more forward.
That's wonderful. You just, what I love particularly is that it's so brief and so multi-purpose. And thank you. It's
Welcome.
delightful.
You're very welcome, Esther.
Oh my goodness. Anybody else want to say anything or share? Julia's saying wonderful to do that. She asked where the roof of your mouth, but I think that you had already explained that. Julia, did you get your question answered?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Linda, did you have something you would like to share? Linda Smith?
Yes, I would like to explain more about M-class flares. I am Linda in Mount Shasta, California, and I've been having a lot of vertigo. That's dizziness, makes it hard to function, and flares of like explosions from the sun that send or can send radiation towards Earth. They can cause some radio blackouts, and a bunch of my friends and I in Mount Shasta are really feeling the effects of these flares. And I know that back in the days of the Maya, they would have like solar priests or priestesses. People knew how to stay grounded and work these kinds of energies and stay functional. And I don't know exactly what one wants me to say to you, but it's a lot of radiation, and I see this as an opportunity to either evolve the earth and humanity, all life on it, or devolve depending on the choices we make. And it's great to see everybody. I'm wishing happy Easter to all of you who celebrate. Easter is the original pronunciation of this goddess who's kind of like a giant bunny rabbit. Is that enough for me? Thank you. I am Linda in Mount Shasta, California. I pass.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much for sharing. Happy Easter back to you.
Thank you. May this be a benefit.
Ken, did you have something you would like to share? I believe you're in Nepal.
I did. We're in Nepal, and I just wanted to say, wish you were here, and I love all of you, and we're with all of you. I'm just going to spin this around a little bit so you can see some of the group that's here. Dr. Clint was here a minute ago, and hey, everybody, we're on the miracle call. We want to say hello. Hello. Hi. We love you, and we're with you. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Yeah, it was just such a remarkable day today. They were so I celebrated my birthday today, and I've never felt so loved or had the ability to give so much love. For those of you who aren't here, that are thinking of being here, be here. It will open your heart in ways that I wouldn't have been able to explain before. But this organization and all that it stands for and all that it does and all who we touch, all of us, the collective we. Joan, I see you down there, and Joan's here with us. And I'm just telling you that all that you are doing out there and all of the love that you're sending is landing here and raising people in ways that you can't even imagine. And so I just want to thank all of you for what you do, and Jayna for all that you do within this organization. And Dr. Naram was with us this week, and we're just full of love. And so thank you to all of you from Nepal. We love you, and we're with you. And I'll pop back off into mute now. I want to give all of you some love for Nepal.
Happy birthday, Ken.
Thank you.
Birthday.
So fun.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Ken. That's so awesome. I love that Amber was talking about spring, and Ken's birthday's in spring and Holi's in spring, and they're in Nepal in spring. It just is so exciting. It just is wonderful. Wonderful. Great. I want to send another blast of love to Amber. Amber, thank you so much for coming on and having beautiful, beautiful conversation with us today. And the breathing exercise was so wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. It's my honor.
I hope that you can come back anytime you desire.
I would love that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Jayna?
Yes. Hi, Carol.
Just posted a reminder of our disclaimer in the chat that what you hear is for educational and informational purposes only, and should not be a cue to stop taking a prescribed medication without a professional consult, a nice transition plan, a titration plan. So just take a look at that as a reminder. And also, there was another birthday besides Ken's today. Yesterday was Nehemiah's birthday. Happy birthday, Nehemiah, from all
Happy
of us.
birthday, Nehemiah.
Oh, happy birthday, Nehemiah. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So fun. Wonderful. Yes, we are responsible for our own health. And so I appreciate that reminder, Carol. Thank you.
If I could just say to that, my doctor suggested that I cut my medication in half. And then and that went on for about 2 weeks, I think. And then he said, why don't you just try a medication vacation? So I did go off blood pressure medication with the knowledge of the doctor. And medication vacation, that was great.
That is great. What a great phrase. Medication vacation. Well, great. And Amber, I have no doubt you've been in contact with your doctors the whole time. So I appreciate that too. Wonderful. Great. Well, speaking of spring, usually we have a detox going on, and Cornelia had mentioned that we were going to have a detox for the 100-day people, and anybody in the community can join with us if they would like to do that. And we have Deborah Ann, who is going to talk to us about detox. And so Deborah Ann, if you would like to come on and share.
Well, thank you, Jayna. Wow, everybody's share has been so spectacular. The share of Dr. Amber and the explanation she gave about our electromagnetic system, our crossing, and then with Linda talking about the sunbursts and that energy that affects us also. And it just reminded me that there's so many ways that our bodies are dealing with energies that come in that are not actually useful, and that they have to get rid of them somehow, be it food that we don't digest, or electromagnetic fields that aren't processed properly through our bodies, or thoughts from things that we take in from media, or somebody says something to us and it just triggers an emotion. And so then there's fear or anger, and all that creates toxins in our systems. So our bodies are just marvelous. And that's my mission in the world, is to let everybody know how marvelous your bodies are. Oh my gosh. The body, in Western medicine, we could talk about the immune system, but in my experience, from being very sick, I was born sick. I was born anemic, and had lots of trouble through all my teen years, diagnosed with almost Crohn's, and discovering and praying. I mean, my connection to the Creator is what has brought me through to this day, bringing different things from our planet and information from people that just, like Dr. Amber, they have this information, and when you need it, they show up in your life. And so I discovered very young that I wasn't uptaking nutrition. So things came my way that were made in such a way that I could uptake nutrition. And so I was able to feed the body, and all those symptoms went away. No more Crohn's, no more anything. But that was only part of the puzzle, because when I got to be 2019, I couldn't walk on my right knee. The osteoarthritis was so painful. And so I was eating well, I was getting the nutrition to my cells, but for some reason I developed osteoarthritis. So that didn't make any sense to me, and comes my way Ancient Secrets. And through Ancient Secrets, I learned about detoxing and this wonderful, I love Dr. Amber, moon bean soup, the mung bean soup. And so just knowing that it was a detox, and I had tried detoxes before and could not do them. I like to eat. So the mung bean soup was really helpful for me, because it was a detox where I didn't feel like I was being deprived of eating. And then learning about how the mung feeds us as well as detoxes us, and how the ghee helps with heavy metal detox. And I mean, all the little herbs and stuff. It was amazing. So when I did the detox after reading the book, I just did the detox. For the first 30 days, I had just mung bean soup. I didn't even put vegetables with it, just mung bean soup. And the pain in my knees, in the one knee, started to go away. I had no problem in the left knee. By the end of the 30 days, I knew I needed to talk with the 𝗤𝗙𝗧 because this was great. If I had osteoarthritis, so there was something that needed to be repaired in the knee. So getting on the herbs and such. So I highly recommend the mung bean soup detox. And I know one of the benefits for me was I was never able to lose weight either. And I was also on thyroid medication. So today I sit, having done the detox, not only the mung bean soup detox, but learning how to meditate has been a wonderful detox. And I have a real spiritual side to me that's never been broken through my whole life. It's taken various detours and such. But learning that when I have, this is the other part I wanted to share with you regarding detox. Many times through this process, I've discovered doctors who actually teach what the Ayurvedic medicine is teaching, but they don't call it that. They just are in the same page. Where when we get symptoms, and I'm really aware now that anytime I get a stuffy nose after I eat, I think about what it was I ate. And usually I can figure out the food it was that caused me to get stuffed up. Now, the stuff being stuffed up or having pain in the belly or anything, those are like symptoms that are irritating, that are just kind of a clue that perhaps you've taken in some kind of toxin that you need to get rid of. But knowing that we need to keep clear the 5 pathways that the toxins come out of our system was what I discovered in Panchakarma, doing Panchakarma in India. So the beauty about the Healthy Me detox with the herbs and such is there's not the drastic, I won't say drastic, but the deeper cleansing of vaman, which is vomiting out the kapha or the extra mucus and that happens. And then of course the day in the Healthy Me detox, when we have the expelling toxins into the toilet, it is a magical process. My life has been changed, and now once I got clean, one of the things I realized is you get to eat, you get to enjoy life, but you do need to detox. And so once a month, I do 3 days where I just do mung bean soup and vegetables. And then anytime during the time I'm eating normally, I guarantee you, at least this body, there will be something I eat where I'll get bloated and pains, and I know where to go to our home remedies. And there's one home remedy that I know if I'm having a symptom that feels like a cold or a flu or just pain from eating, it's called the immunity home remedy. And the immunity home remedy helps. That we also have bloating and specific ones, but the immunity home remedy I use frequently because I know that if I'm starting to feel ill, it's because I have some kind of toxins where the pathways have been overloaded and are not getting the stuff out of my body as quickly as it should. So anything I can do to help clear those pathways. So we've got the immunity marma, which is on the right hand and your middle finger, and you press that 6 times, and you can do that anytime during the day, as many times as you need. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I asked Jayna if she could put up the immunity home remedy. And it's amazing how when you realize your body is responding by you having symptoms of feeling ill, it's because all of our detox pathways have reached their limit and we need to assist them so that we can get things out. So the gift of Ancient Secrets will be giving you the immunity remedy. And I think that's all I wanted to share. So you all know we have a home here's the home remedy. It is a teaspoon of honey. I gotta put on my bigger glasses. My I can't see close glasses, or I can see close glasses. Half a teaspoon of ginger juice, 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, 10 to 12 tulsi leaves, and I use the dried tulsi tea leaves, and I let them soak a bit before I put them in this remedy. 1/8 of a teaspoon of clove powder and 1 clove of garlic. And you put all that in a half a glass of warm water, and you can take it 2 to 4 times a day. And you're just assisting your body doing what it does best, which is to detox. Thank you, Jayna.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I so appreciate it. You know, Deborah has studied a lot about detox, and we can definitely see that. Thank you so much. There's a couple of questions. Shifra, would you like to say something?
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to say hello, and I appreciate everything that everyone has shared. The Dr. Amber and Deborah Ann, just a lovely person, and thank you for your beautiful facilitation. And I appreciate this, and I don't know, I'm just going to take a minute to say that I've been doing much better. I've been able to, on my father's 108th birthday, I was able to forgive him. I've done a lot of work on it, and I was really able to do that. I listened to an audio from my sponsor about Corrie ten Boom. She saved Jews during the Holocaust. A Dutch woman and her sister died in the camp. They were put in the concentration camps, and her sister died. She got ill and she died. And there was a guard who was very mean to her. And when Corrie got out, she helped the people who had been in the camps. And she said that the people who were able to forgive, even if they had physical injuries or whatever, they could go on and have good lives. And she said the ones who didn't forgive remained invalids. And I kind of feel like in some ways I haven't been a total invalid, but I've been kind of an invalid, and I don't want to be that way anymore. And what happened in that particular story, just very briefly, was that some man, this guy had actually been a camp guard who was extremely mean to her sister. And he came, she was doing these like religious lectures, and he came and he said, "Oh, Fräulein, isn't it wonderful that we can forgive? You know, I've done terrible things and that we can be forgiven, but I'd like to hear it from you." And he didn't realize that she had been in the camp and that she knew, I mean, she didn't really know him personally, but he was there, and he was the one who had been so mean to her sister, and she didn't tell him. And he extended his hand to her, and she couldn't do anything. She was so overcome with bitterness at what he had done to her sister. And then she just said, "God, please help me. Maybe you can do it." And so she extended her hand to him. And she said she felt like this bolt of electricity that went through her, and the most intense love. And they just stayed holding hands for a long time. And I just sort of took that as a sign. This was on March 15th. And I don't know, I went someplace under a tree, and I spoke in front of God. I had my own idea of what God is. I mean, anyway, that's an infinite thing. But anyway, I did that, and I told God what had happened, and God witnessed. And then my father was there. He apologized, and I accepted it. And then I apologized for some things I had done unrelated to his abuse. And then I figured I'll do my mother and myself at the same time. And I've just generally been, feeling a lot better, less angry, and a lot more gratitude. And I've gained some weight. I don't know, I've gained about 10 pounds. because I'm trying to gain weight. I'm trying to gain another 12, 15 pounds. And generally things have been much better. I've been much happier, feeling more connected, feel more loved. And I don't know, today for some reason, like I just feel this like almost like a panic. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. You know, I'm thinking, oh, I better run to the doctor. And I'm thinking, no, you better not. That's not a good idea. You know, they've checked my heart many times. So,
well, what you've been through,
but I feel a tremendous, I feel much more of a sense of love. I feel much more of a sense of well-being. I feel a lot better about myself and my food. I can't say I'm doing the mung bean, that'll be next, but I stopped binging, and I was like, sometimes I just wasn't eating. And so I'm no longer binging, and I'm making sure that I eat. So that's really, really great. And so I just feel a whole lot better. And so much of that is really from this community. I do the marmas a lot. When other people are struggling, I help them. I teach the marmas to them to the extent that I know them. And it's the anniversary of my dear friend, Alexander, who died of a drug poisoning. And I think the best thing I can do, I felt him, we all got together, we had a beautiful gathering. It was lovely. I feel more connected being around people, but also the best way I can honor him is to stay sober and live a great life in his, you know, for myself, but also in his honor. He was just a person who was very loving, and he made family wherever he went. And so I want to live those values and stand up for justice like he did. And I feel him with me. His name was Alexander Lynn. So anyway, that's it. That's what I got.
Shifra, you know, wow, that's amazing. And what a great new beginning for this time of year, for spring.
Yeah.
I think so many of us in the community have our own forgiveness story and can really relate to what you've been through. It is not an easy, it is a process. Let's just put it that way. It's a process to be able to go from one side of the angerness and the bitterness over to letting it go and feeling that love. And what a beautiful story. I'm so glad that that story was able to guide you through. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Man.
And if anyone knows what helps with like panic, is I don't know if it's just there's so much going on in the world right now. Anyway, I don't know.
Just being present. Being present is, yeah. I coached anxiety for many years. So you just breathe and stay present and give yourself permission to be in that frame of mind, but then change your focus. You need to change your focus on something that's going to support you. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. Just love to everyone. Bless everyone.
Deborah Ann, would you like to say something?
I would. Thank you, Jayna. And thank you, Shifra. I just, what she was sharing about forgiveness is, reminded me to remind everyone about the forgive and forget marma, because that is also a way of clearing the system and detoxing from, because our emotions definitely create things in our body. So thank you, Shifra. Thank you, Jayna. And I wanted to actually say what I was going to say at the end. Our community is going to be having a community detox, a 7-day or a 30-day. And that's going to start the 21st of April. So I just wanted everyone to know that. Thank you, Jayna.
Thank you. Thank you. Luke?
I wanted to make one point of clarification with the immunity drink, because I've made it many, many times over the last couple of years, but I didn't know this right away. You have to be careful when putting in the honey. You never want to put honey into boiling water because it can become toxic. So it's okay to just put honey into warm water. So before I knew that, I used to make my, heat up the water, and I put the honey in first, and it would get very hot. Once I learned this, the honey is the last thing I put in, and I put everything else in the hot water, well, the warm water, into a cup. And when I know it's not really hot, I put the honey in at the end. So just be a little cautious when adding the honey to the immunity drink. Okay, I wanted to mention that.
I'm so glad you did. Go ahead.
Also, in terms of what Deborah Ann was talking about with detoxing, I highly recommend drinking the detox tea every day. And it's a wonderful drink. It's very soothing. and it helps to detox. You can drink it as many times a day as you want. You can make a pot of it, and it's basically a pot of water, and this you can boil. You have to boil it, and put into it a teaspoon of fennel, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of coriander, and a half a teaspoon of ginger. In fact, I'm drinking it right now. And it helps with detoxing. I just want to add that to our discussion about detox.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Luke.
Jayna,
Yes.
I just want to add to that honey comment that honey can be super toxic to children under the age of 1. It can cause botulism because they don't have the immunity for it. So that's another word of caution, that if you're tempted to sweeten a baby formula or something with honey, that's it needs to wait until after their first birthday.
Perfect. Great wisdom. Great wisdom. Oh, wow. Beverly had asked how do we join the community detox? In probably this week or next, we will probably have a link for you to be able to click on and so you can join that detox. And if you're part of the 100-day program, you'll be definitely a part of that with no problem. So Nehemiah, happy birthday. Would love to hear from you.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And I don't want you to see me yet because I didn't manage. Went to sleep late, got a plate in my birthday, and I'm not presentable yet. So let's see. But later on, I'll ask Carol to help me with the video because I don't even see my box, so something is happening there, which is okay. So, first of all, thank you for a birthday, for whoever knew that I had a birthday, because I didn't make it announced at the time. But Carol, you are beyond the beyond in generosity. I can't say the words. I mean, few hours gift. Some people give their money, but some people give their precious time. Wow. And Carol, you know what she can give. So if just that can be, but many things can. But let's come to what we are talking about now. I want to focus on forgiveness because that's what came up, yeah? So I want to share another perspective in the entire hologram of universal phenomenon of forgiveness, because it's all hologram, or if you like to say in my country, what do you call mosaic? Because in Israel there are a lot of mosaic because it's an ancient land of different culture. So in this hologram, in forgiveness, there's something about group unforgiveness, and I want to speak about because it causes a lot of trouble. In order to unite, the first group that I know of, the Israelites, were really a mixed up of Jewish, non-Jewish, slaves, people in all kinds of awareness, and to let them go beyond the ego, Moses or whoever spoke through Moses, whatever it was, unite them by not forgiving, getting against other nations. And that's what groups have been doing in order to unite themselves. They unite themselves, let go of some of the ego, and say we are better than others. And in the case of the Jewish people, it's also a nation. So what happens recently, it's a nation in many places, but in the Jewish is also sanctified by the national religion. So what happened recently is the unforgiveness of two groups, the Israelis towards the Palestinian towards the Israelis, create a big war. It's created for a long time, but becoming worse and worse because everybody is committed, very evolved people, still are committed not to forgive the other side and to see only one side, not to see the mosaic. And on top of it, I want to mention it because it's not part of there's groups that are making money out of fighting. They are mostly in America and some of them in Israel, basically making big money. And they would keep on war as much as they can because they love their money. I'm speaking about the weapon industrial complex in America, also in Israel and other countries. So just to be aware of it, even though we can just pray for it. So what we have to do, I'm coming with it now, is to forgive not just people, but also group of people. Even like I totally forgive the Germans who killed me in past lifetime and killed so many people in my family. Completely forgive. Not just that they didn't need my forgiveness, but I needed my forgiveness. And I worked on it. And everybody has to work on his own. I don't hate at all the Jordanian whose soldier killed my father when I was 3 months old. Not at all, because I know that besides killing my father, they are the only group who didn't kill citizens deliberately. I mean, they did siege my city, caused me all the trauma, because they wanted to kind of strangle us to die, and therefore all this conflict brings stuff in me, you know, because that's my formative years, 3 months to few years I was in Jerusalem. I mean, moment of birth, actually. But the Jordanian, interestingly not a democracy, the king of, like kind of enlightened kings, enlightened, not fully enlightened, but very enlightened, they made a commitment to keep something that is before Kali Yuga, not to kill citizens. Because everybody in Kali Yuga, they pretend to, because they have good propaganda. Everybody is killing citizens, everybody, except for the Jordanian, maybe some others that I don't know. And when they took over a place, they didn't kill the citizen. When people took over Jerusalem, every side killed citizens, except for Salah ad-Din, which is also interestingly, that's different. Not what do you call it? A Muslim, yeah? So all the images we have, like Muslims are for jihad or whatever, because I'm with the Sufis now a lot, they are so much influenced by propaganda from different groups, egos, that control also the media, and because of the money and all this stuff. So we have to be careful about our opinion, because they are very influenced by stuff, and to really go to our heart and to practice forgiveness for all,
You're so right, Nehemiah. You know, in the book, it talks about, you know, identifying the ego and the fear, you know, and of course, you know, you identify and you balance your own ego and your own fear. But what I hear you saying is that you're aware of other organizations and other people that have the ego and that are engaged in the ego, and it can be very damaging and very hurtful. And so I really appreciate your story of forgiveness and being able to forgive, you know, not only, you know, past generations of what was happened to your family, but current situations. And so thank you. It's forgiveness is very powerful.
Can I throw one short comment?
Sure.
One just in all the theories that I know, in all the it's in reality, fear and love are the opposite. When you have love, fear go away, at least for that moment. And they are both the most kind of basic, almost the beginning of creation, of the illusion of creation, or whatever. And why did I want to say it? Because we have to be aware that what we are doing, even for 1 minute, every moment that we are loving, we are letting go of fear. Because fear is a basic, one of the most basic thing of the personal ego before, when we are not in love. And we only conquer full fear when we become love, when we go to the highest level of love and we become established, what we call enlightened, and then fear doesn't come anymore. I've known quite few realized masters. Some of them are my personal masters, like the same lineage, and all of them, you never saw a fear. If something would happen, they would jump because the instincts still work, but they didn't experience fear anymore. Nothing.
That's very, very true. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, you know, for many years I coached people with anxiety and with depression, and anxiety is fear, you know, so that's exactly what you're saying. When you can move into a place of love and in a place of presence, then you're able to let go of that fear. And I believe that that's probably what your masters were doing. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, and you can fear yourself even without committing suicide. You can fear yourself to death. It can become so extreme that you fulfill your fear. Like Job say, whatever I'm afraid of is coming to me, you know? We can become so afraid that it will come to us, whatever we're afraid of, if it's become extreme. So we have to really let go of it and take love, which is what this community is about.
Thank you, Nehemiah. Thank you so much. Susan and Joseph, did you have something you'd like to share? And then Robin, if you'd get ready the breakout rooms.
Hi, I just wanted to testify. I've just finished a 7-day detox, and I was kind of a runaway twain in my eating for a period of time, long period of time. And one of the best tools that I have in my toolbox that I'm so grateful to Ancient Secrets for is just go on a detox. And so just, Joe, you did 5 days of it and I did 7 days of it. And it's just a reset button. And I didn't need the whole group to do it with me. I just could do it on my own. And it has just gotten me back to myself and to what's going on inside of me. And now I can see where all the overeating was coming in, and all my old patterns had popped back and I gained weight. And now I just feel so empowered. And this is something that I can do for myself, that I do for myself. I don't do it regularly, but whenever I need it, it's like, oh yeah, I can detox. And so I want to testify. It really works, and it's a wonderful thing to do. So
I'm reminded of what Dr. Steve once said on one of these calls. He says, you know, it's not the mung beans. It's like, it's what you don't eat, you know, because you are eating the mung beans and you're not eating all of the other things, you know, whatever all those things are. And, you know, so.
And, you know, one more thing, the really cool thing is because of Ancient Secrets, I've learned what are the symptoms, what do I need to pay attention to let me know that I'm inflamed and that I need to detox. I would look at myself in Zoom and I was all puffy. And when I'd move, I was achy. I mean, I could feel it in my joints. And just to know, there were other things too, but just to know that. I don't go to a doctor for that. I go to my own inner doctor, and it's because of all the knowledge we've gotten here. And so I just feel very blessed to have all this knowledge. And it's more than the knowledge. I have something that I can do. I'm not poofy anymore. I'm not achy anymore. I just feel so much better. So I just wanted to say that much. Go on.
And if I can, someone asked about anxiety or the marma right here below the nose, on the lip. It's a 6, everything is 6, but you push it 6 times, and you can do it with breath or not, whatever, but it's the calming point.
Yeah. And also, Shifra, I'd just like to say, we just learned an amazing breath technique because you were asking about something for panic. And I would imagine that doing that, what we just learned would be awesome. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you, you two. So appreciate you. And Poofy, Susan, we love you whether you're poofy or not poofy. Jacob, would love to hear from you.
Thank you very much. Just since this is a call from for forgiveness now, right? Just a quick message. When you don't go through a process of forgiveness, you're basically living on your past. You know, your past is grabbing you, and you cannot move into the goals, into the things that you desire, into the things that you're trying to manifest into your life, into the beliefs that you're bringing that are new to you, because you are still on the past. And your body and your mind needs to honor for sure who you truly are at all times. So that it's why it's so important to move through a process of forgiveness, even if the people don't deserve it, you know, because it's the freedom is liberating for you. And the other thing is that when you don't forgive, you are pretty much dishonoring your God. We have this saying in the group, the 𝗬𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗦, right? God is always sending you the things. So when you are not able to forgive, is because basically you are not trusting your own God. Your own God put you to live through things for a good reason. And when you're stuck in the past, you are dishonoring him or her, whatever God is for you. So those are my 2 cents. Love you all. And it's always fun to be here, even when I'm driving.
I love that. Thank you so much for being here, Jacob. Such words of wisdom. You know, the Vaidya is every time they do a session, before they do a session, they always do the forgive and forget marma, and so that they can be clear when they meet a client, so that all of their own stuff is out of the way, to be able to hear their pulse and be able to be with them in a very present way. You know, the other thing is 90% of disease is caused from unresolved emotion and childhood trauma. And so, you know, forgiveness is a part of the process of being able to let go. You know, I know for years there was something that happened with me that I just didn't want to face it. I just put it in the closet and I wouldn't even look at it, let alone forgive it. And since I've come to Ancient Secrets, or found Ancient Secrets, I've been able to look at it and forgive it. And it's so freeing. It is so freeing. Carol, do you have something you'd like to say?
I just wanted to do a brief on announcements that I hope everybody has access to our incredibly informative newsletter. And in it, you'll find links to the upcoming Pulse Clinic in Europe. And Dr. Klant and Dr. Giovanni will be hosting these clinics in Belgium, Zurich, near Lisbon, Barcelona, and all of those links are in the newsletter. And then again, I was hoping maybe Dr. Susan and Dr. Joseph would say something about Ashland. The links are there in the newsletter for that, to register for our incredible event that's coming up. That the dates for that are June 4th to the 6th, and there's some opportunities on the 3rd. There will be pulse clinics with Dr. Giovanni and Dr. Klant in association with that event as well. And just for those, I've had a few people ask me what's happening with the pet book. Ancient Secrets for Pet is due to launch on April the 21st on a Sunday call. So we hope you'll be here for that. And thank you for the time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carol. Wonderful. It's been a great call, and we're at the time. So I would like everybody to unmute and say, I love you and I'm with you. And if Robin, if you can get the breakout rooms going, that would be wonderful. Thank you everyone for contributing. I love you and I'm with you.
I love you.
I love you and I am with
with
you.
you, and I'm with
Love you and
you.
love you and I
And
miss
I'm
you.
with you.
Love you and
I love you.
Love you and I'm with you. Love
Love
you
you and I'm
and
with
I'm with
Shasta
you.
loves
Love
you and
you.
is with
love
you.
Love you and
I
I'm with
love you and
you.
I'm with
I
you.
love you and I'm with
Love you and I'm
you.
with
Love you and I'm
Love
Happy
you and
birthday
I'm
to
with
Evia.
you. Love you and I'm with
I love you
you.
and I am with
Love you and
you.
I'm with you.
love you and I'm
Love you and I'm with you.
Happy Easter, all
Love
to
you and I'm with
celebrate.
you.
I love you and I'm with
Love you
you.
and I'm with you.
I'm with you.
I
Love
love
you
you
and
and
I'm
I
with
am with
you.
you.
Love,
Thank you
love,
guys.
love.
I love you.
Love
Wonderful.
y'all.
I'm not sure that Robin is on the call. Robin, are you there?
I am, and I'm going to start the breakout rooms right now.
Great, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.